just watched a video of Mel Robbins, and she is an absolute awesome woman, and she's also a mature woman, so she understands what it's like to be past 40 and just feel like a fucking failure. And it's like, she did this video tonight, and she said to the audience, she said, right, she said, I want you all to open up the text to your significant partner, your husband, wife, your mother, the closest people to you. And I just want you to write, what could I do to be a better partner? So I'm asking myself, what could I do to be a better mother? And I have to say, I was sitting down thinking about this before I wrote my life, and I was looking at the boys' bedrooms and their toys and things. I think there has to be a balance between telling children about Father Christmas and getting presents all at Christmas and your birthday gifts and like pocket money and things in between. I've come to this point because obviously I haven't necessarily done Christmas with the two younger boys in the way that I did with my two older boys, and then obviously Aaron and Faith, with the interruption being on the 13th of December. And Christmas for me has never ever been what Christmas is to everybody else. And I sort of decided, I used to argue with Graham over this about the boys, because he used to say on birthdays you sort of spend like 25 quid, so to say, and on Christmases that's when you get what you want. And as a parent, I get really frustrated because as a mother I'm dependent on father to provide me with resources and tools to be able to be a mother. Yes, you need your parents to be with your husband. Your husband is the provider, he's the one that puts the roof over the head, he's the one that provides the furniture, he's the one that makes sure that as your belly is growing, that you are nurtured, you are cared for, you are looked after. And just to say a point, I was coming down the seafront the other day, and I was coming down like this really steep hill, and there was a group of Iranian families coming up the hill, and there was like single buggies, double buggies and everything. But guess who wasn't pushing them up the bloody hill? The mothers. Not one of the mothers was pushing the buggy up the hill. I even actually interceded and said, well, what do you women do differently? Because I've had to push every buggy up the hill. And even as an EDS mother, nobody ever thinks about how difficult it is for me to push a buggy, trolley, getting things out of the car, carrying carrier bags, doing normal basic things. And chivalry just doesn't exist. In fact, until lockdown, people didn't really move out of your way, be it a till, just to my neck, be it at coming out of a lift, a doorway, or whatever. There is not here in Great Britain, there is not a consensus that we have some form of social standard moral code. We have, we as always in Great Britain, that's so fucking great that we focus on the problems. We have anti-social behaviour, but nobody actually says what actually is social behaviour, because there isn't really a social norm. I've been over at the park today, and I've been at a couple of parks with the boys today, and it's been really hard. I spent the time with a 3-year-old little blonde girl on one of the parks, and then a 4-year-old little blonde girl, and then a 5-year-old little blonde girl, and then we went to another park, and I had 6-year-old, and then we crossed over and we went to the other park, and I spent time with a not 8 and 9, yeah, 8 and 9 year old, right? I haven't met the older blonde one yet, apart from the fact that I saw Phoebe at 13, who's 13 now. For those of you that won't know why that's significant, Faith was taken at the age of 3, and that noise is still going on. When I broke my gag at Downing Street, I made a really poignant speech, and I said, when a child is taken by social services, the parents should sit there going, whoa, I've really got to like pick up my standards, and you know, my children have got an opportunity for a better life. We shouldn't have to be worrying about paedophilia infiltration. I'm not saying social services are paedophiles, MPs are paedophiles, police are paedophiles, teachers are paedophiles, scouts people, football coaches. I'm not saying that. I'm saying paedophiles infiltrate into, okay? It comes with the protection of. I, as a mother, shouldn't have to spend a lot of my time having to see pictures of children that I know are etched in my heart, mind and soul, because these are children that are currently somewhere. I don't know where. I don't think anyone knows where these children are. But they are being sold. And they are being sold for sexual gratification by adults who want to have sexual penetration with children or take photographs of children. They don't believe, many of them, that there is a crime in looking at pornography of children. However, children are subjected to pain and suffering as they are going through a lot of what they shouldn't be going through, yeah? And children should be playing with trucks and thinking about nice little things and doing paintings and being in joy and pleasure, not sexual pleasure, because children do, as hard as this is for me to say, children do receive sexual gratification even when being abused. And a lot of people won't get their head around that. And a lot of people who have been children who have been sexually abused, especially if by a father or mother or any inside family people or somebody that they look up to. Jeff Bezos. I'll go face to face with him, you know. I'll ask him face to face, mate. I will ask that man face to face. And I know how to find them. I know where to find them. These people are so easy. When I wanted to speak to Richard Branson, I was literally stood at the back of the hall with all 4 of my children. Aaron and Faith were in a double buggy. Liam was stood one side. Daniel stood the other side. I had made sure that I took a payday loan to be able to cover me being in one of the top suites for this event, knowing full well it would position me right where I needed to be. For me to be able to ask Richard Branson, how the fuck do I earn over 60,000? Which is what I said in the papers. So I didn't want to listen to all these debt advisors and these people against. I said, I'm going to go and find somebody who I know full well earns over 60,000 and I will listen to them. So therefore I chose Sir Lord Alan Sugar, Tony Robbins, Richard Branson and Donald Trump. With that came Kevin Green I won't list all of the secret millionaires that got involved in lots of things, and I am actually privy to know most of the people that were involved in Secret Millionaire, and obviously what was the article of the paper? Benefit Britain. So obviously Benefit Britain has a lot to do with Challenge Britain, yes. And that was what I started in 2010. No, I launched in 2010. I was part of a 26-week. I'm shaking all over my body over what I have witnessed tonight, and I am sick to my teeth that I have now got to spend my time going through Amazon looking for symbols of paedophilia. Because if you let the police do this, somebody knows somebody, will stop somebody, will keep it going, and it will get covered up, just like it always gets covered up. Whether Jeff is involved, whether he knows, at the end of the day, Amazon is being used to traffic children. Fact. I guarantee you that if I continue looking for what I'm looking for, I will find there'll be an adoption article for children that are being adopted. There will be a symbol or a logo that people in the know, the 1%, the people in the know. The dark web is not a safe place for these people anymore, because there's people like us and many all over them, mate. Do you know how many paedophile hunters there are now? Like, seriously, do you know how many paedophile hunters there are since the very first paedophile hunter? Do they always get success? They have to follow through with it because there is public evidence. That protects it. Have they got it wrong? Yes, they have gone to the wrong door before, but the fact that it identified their next door neighbour, I don't think people were too bothered about it. And I do believe that it was very public that they got it wrong people. How can I be a better mother to my children, a greater mother to my children? And financial freedom has a lot to do with this, being able to make the choices for my children to be able to live their life in passion, purpose, with true principles. And I stand by everything that Challenge Britain and Step Up Britain stood for. I stand by this. I'm not the person that is corrupt. I can't be corrupted. You know, even in my destitute days. I mean, I've had no money for days. I've got what? A penny up there, 2 pennies or something up there. I wouldn't shoplift. I wouldn't go out and rob somebody. I wouldn't do these things. One, my fucking karma's quick, mate. I'll get oops upside the head by the Lord. Boom. Yeah, I can't even lie. It annoys me, and it fucking does annoy me because, you know, it's like they say the reason that I have this diagnosis of Asperger's, they say, is because I have no filters. I say, no, I can't be arsed with your P's and Q's, political fucking bullshit, your noncy fucking hierarchy bollocks crap. I think most of what is going on in this world at the moment is utter bullshit, and I'm not willing to ice over things or put plasters over fucking gangrene. I met a guy tonight, very drunk, outside. We're having a really good conversation. He used to work for the Sex Pistols, but he was also, his actual introduction to me is, I'm an ex-shoulderer and I've murdered and killed people, and I'm really not happy about what I've done, and I'm suffering for it, and I'm really, really trying to get the confidence to come and talk to you, because I've been trying to speak to my doctor about getting some form of trauma counselling, and this is why my children are there. And it's like, and he's like, so to be frank, so no, fine, my children have to understand that there is a consequence of pulling a gun on somebody. My children, you know, are very, 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 they're laying there very sweetly now together, but they would claw each other's eyes out, stab each other in the back as it stands right now. They have no moral compass to the fact that they are brothers. There is a in tune innate, which is why they're laying asleep with each other right now. And they went through the most wonderful thing. I actually had to come back up for my cash card, and I made the decision to let the boys, for my first time ever, let the boys stand downstairs while I did this, right? So I could tell that Elijah really wasn't happy once the door had shut in between us while I was on the banister, right? And all of a sudden, Shiloh went over to him and said, "It's okay," and he gave him a hug. And I was going, go on, be brave, be brave. You can see me. I'm here. I'm getting my cash card. I will be here in 2 seconds. And they gave each other this wonderful hug, really embraced each other. And Shiloh was this, okay, we're here together, we're brothers. And when we were walking around the shop, there was two kids fighting, and Shiloh just went, don't fight, you're brothers and sisters. And even talking to this guy today, and he said he was paid to do it. He said, but I was paid to do it, but I was paid to do it, but I was paid to do it, paid to do it, paid to do it, I was paid to do it. This is the problem. People are paid to do these things. There are people out there that are trafficking children that are just paid to do a fucking job, mate, and they don't even know what the fuck they're doing. Not many people are really in the loop of what is the agenda and manifestation to people's business, yeah? They employ people to do a job. That's it. Now, I know full well that Jeff Bezos, if you don't know who Jeff Bezos is, by the way, Jeff Bezos is the owner of Amazon. So Amazon are and have evidence to know whether it be one case or multiple cases that is now going into complete look to try to find as many logos as we can with as many people, we're really calling it, to try to find and also authenticate already things that are found, because once people put a complaint in, they move them really fast. You only have to put up a different account, create a different name, and this is happening with things like a certain leotard for a girl, or whether a boy might be wearing a ballet or a tutu. It could be certain brands of clothing that's got a particular logo on, and then the child is available in that photograph. It could be as simple as some balloons with a child in, or a birthday party, or that it has somebody particular. They have a code between them, like the paedophilia, like Pi. It was the paedophile information exchange. They exchanged information with each other in the same way that people play poker, in the same way that football matches are created, in the same way that Parliament meets to write a bill. These people have to work together in order to find a child, groom a child, kidnap a child, or even have a child born into it. Women are taken as children who are still prostitutes now. There are very, 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 very few. I've got a mum, and I'm really not happy because this is here in Portsmouth. And if she is watching, I'm going to help you put that statement in, and we're going to go down, and I will come with you, and nobody will treat you like a smackhead, crackhead, and just somebody on some swingers website. They will treat you like a woman, because these people were soldiers. These people were soldiers here in Portsmouth. 8 of them. These are soldiers going onto these sites and raping women. And these are soldiers here in Portsmouth, right under their noses here in Portsmouth. Soldiers right here. A long time ago, the world was really corrupt when Jesus came. And there used to be cha-cha girls, cool girls, escorts. Escorts has gone on for centuries. Kings used to order women. Soldiers used to order young boys. This stuff has gone on for years and years and years and years. But very, very, very few people are ever taught about getting married and having a family and being a family. There was a time when husbands used to have to protect their wives because the king could rape them. On the night of their wedding, the king used to rape the women before they were even allowed to go. Some of them never even made it back. You know the story. You know the story in Scotland. It's a true story, you know, and How could I be a better mother to my children? And that is by overcoming everything bastards have done to me, that have wrapped my mind up in, if I go this way, this could happen. If I go that way, that could happen. If I do this, this could happen. If I go there, that could happen. If I do this, this could happen. If I go there, that could happen. And the worst case scenario is always, it just takes one police officer to call child protection on me, and I'm stuck, frozen, like a rabbit in headlights. There's nothing I can do about it. We live in a country now that if, like outside where Elijah was taken a couple of years ago, when that police officer grabbed my buggy, my friend Skipper said to me, I said, I know it's not paranoia, I know it's trauma. And he said, when I'm talking to you, I know that to be true. And he says, and there's a lot of other people that I know that it's trauma because of what they've been through or what they've experienced. And he said, but to the normal people that have never been through it, don't understand that it is an option in their life too. And it doesn't matter who you are. I mean, come on, Katie Price is trying to adopt a child at the moment. That woman's got more boxer frogs than anybody, mate. And Harvey alone, if she was to adopt the child under the standard rules of social care, Harvey would be removed from the property. In order for her to do that, she would have to put him in a home full time. Shit, I'm going to hold my coffee, but my thumb is just so not stable, if you understand why. But so if it drops, it drops. Tough shit. I'm traumatised just by the fact that I'm going to be spending at a time that I really need to be focusing on my stuff. But the fact that Jeff is one of the most richest men in the world and could have me off, coughed and popped in seconds. Would a businessman kill to protect his assets? Yes. Are there many businessmen in this world that don't have security? Don't have, especially in other countries, guns. Here in the UK, we don't have gun law, but do people here in the UK that have a certain amount of money, have a certain amount of protection and security? Yes, our royals carry guns. I actually, do the royals actually carry guns? That would be interesting. Their security do. What grants the police and security the right in the UK, where there is no gun law, to carry guns? What right does anyone give to pay someone to go over to a country and kill people? Just throwing it out there. What right do soldiers have to go over to other countries and rape and pillage and murder people, like say in the Congo, which is happening right now, where women are being burnt to freaking trees, babies are being freaking raped, and children are being raised as soldiers, right out in other countries where children are being raised as soldiers from the streets. So as a mother, we have a duty and a responsibility to raise our children to be an absolute asset to this world. But if you're an asset to this world, you become an enemy of the state. To be an asset to this world, you have to then cross a boundary to be manipulated. Take an Olympic athlete. How many Olympic athletes, female, would take their clothes off for a photo shoot? Probably a lot of them. How many women would undo a top button for a job? How many women would fuck a boss to get a promotion? How many women would rub up against the mechanic to get a discount? You know, sexual is used all the time. Sex is used as a weapon between relationships. Sex is used as a tool. Sex is used as a ramming fucking thing. Sex is used, I mean, most women wouldn't even know their own bodies. Yet they say masturbation is forbidden. Yet unless you masturbate, you never ever get to actually understand your own bodies and your own pleasures, and that masturbation should be done between you and your partner anyway, which isn't actually then masturbation. It then becomes into foreplay, which is slightly different, and then we move into oral and everything else. You know, and we've got a whole world of children that are sexualized. And it's like, how does nobody see that this, we have a right as parents to say no, 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 no. And it doesn't matter whether you're called homophobic. It doesn't matter whether you're called this or that. If we don't want our children to be polluted by certain things, so would you allow your children to go to school for your teacher to bring in Grand Theft Auto for them to play with? Well, I fucking wouldn't. There's probably many parents out there, but then there's fucking shitloads of fucking crazy fucking ass parents that would turn around and say, well, I won't fucking swear around my children. Well, I tend to not try to fucking swear around my children, and I don't tend to actually be a person who fucking swears. I'm just really fucking angry, and fuck is about the only word that I have to say that actually resonates with all of this stuff, other than some people are right fucking cunts. And I wouldn't even tolerate or spend the time with these sorts of people. And I've taken the time again to reflect, and I've had a couple of people ask me for my telephone number today, and it's like, why? Why do you need my number? Like, seriously, what are you going to call me for? Are you going to ring me up to say, hey, how you doing? Are you all right? Are you going to ring me tomorrow and say, hey, I've managed to get another couple of £100 towards your scan and everything? Or I'll tell you what, I've just been speaking to the director of the NHS, and they're going to do it for free for you, not a problem, on the NHS, not for free, blah, blah, you know. Or are you going to ring me up because you want a shag? Because I ain't down with that, mate. Like, yeah. So it's like, don't waste my time. It's a shame that I had to get to 43 and get to a place where it's like, I just don't tolerate things in the way that I used to before. I used to be so fucking easygoing and so laid back. Like, even like listening to music in the car. Like, yes, I can say, turn that shit off. If it gives me a fucking headache, like, Dean does my nutting when he's here. And it's not even his fault as a character, as a person. Dean is lovely. Dean is, like, really beautiful. But he's a DJ. And living with a DJ is fucking hard work. I don't want to listen to your boom, 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 boom when I wake up in the morning. I want to listen to any of your music that's got lyrics in it when I'm writing. Now, I love Dean's music, by the way, but there is a time and a place for certain types of music for somebody like me. There is me in the morning. I don't even want my kids to put laptops on me. I'll begrudge it. Before 10 o'clock in this house, I don't allow for any freaking technology other than anything to do with the fact that I have to work in line with trying to meet my targets. And if I had my own way, everything would be preset in the morning, so I don't have to spend any time in anyone's sounds, anyone's belief systems, anyone's noise, anyone's chaos, anyone's drama, anyone's shit. I just get to have my own thinking, my own thoughts. I get to process, and I get to deal with everything from the sky to the ground to the air that we breathe, and set my intentions with the Lord that day. I know I'm going to face resistance. I know I'm going to hit hurdles, but I know by the end of the day that there is an outcome for me to achieve, and just be dragged around in everything, or just be forced into this get up, go to work, go to school. You may have Christmas, you may have Easter, you may do this, you may do that, and hey, Halloween, we're going to rape and pillage all these fucking children, and we're going to do it right under your fucking noses, and we're going to tell you that everybody trying to tell you who doesn't work for the police But police and court records can tell you of satanic rituals. They can tell you of paedophile rings. They can tell you of people who have pornography. It doesn't matter whether there's 1, 100, 1,000, or a fucking million. There shouldn't even be one child penetrated by a fucking adult or a teenager. The law is the law, and the law says no child under the age of 17. In other countries, 18. In some, you can even drive at 16. But between those ages, it shouldn't even be entering, going in, and there is a fucking reason for it. They cannot take it emotionally. No child, no teenager, no person even under the fucking ages of 30, yes, 30, is emotionally to understand the consequences. And I can say this as somebody who has fucking ex-husbands, who's been an escort, who's been raped, who's had sexual abuse. I have earned my fucking stripes to talk about this shit, mate. And if I could say to every 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, put a fucking plug in it. Don't let anybody in. Get to know who you are. Find your place in this damn world, your peers, your way. Then find your husband and wife. And yes, husband, damn wife. Everything else is fucked up. Yes, I've done threesomes. Yes, I've been with a woman. Yes, I've freaking been paid as an escort to do mental things. Which is why I say I've earned my stripes to talk about this shit. I say to my older boys when they were younger, and Daniel actually still continues with his partner. Liam would have done if it wasn't for all of this. But when you finally go to bed with the one that you genuinely really, really, really get on with, bond with, click with, you will go to bed with every person that you have ever had a sexual, physical, emotional relationship, and their mother, their father, and every person that you connected with in that line of that network. So when you choose to be with your husband and wife, imagine a bed. Imagine your husband on one side, your wife on the other. The only people that should enter into that bedroom space is the children created by that couple. And we don't have this standard or value in the world anymore. We have too many multiple children families like myself. 6 children, 4 different fathers. This is shit. That's not good enough. Not good enough. I was begging for help when I was a teenager to prevent boys from wanting to find me, finger me, or fuck me. I was begging for that boundary. I was begging. I didn't have my father around going, you get away from my daughter. I didn't have the father and daughter talks around me. And I certainly had a mother that only ever expected me to be a fucking teenage mother and thought I was shagging every freaking person that I actually wasn't. And it's like, you know, so of course I'm going to end up freaking pregnant at 15, aren't I? With everyone telling me I'm lying and attention seeking, but the pregnancy says no, she's pregnant. And she's trying to tell everybody, come on, not having babies, I'm going to college, I've got plans, I'm doing this and this, you know. And then I went to college after a termination and got pregnant again. So, you know, this stuff has to be talked about. We have to stop with all of this bollocks, P's and Q's and worrying about whether somebody's going to target us because we might be a hater or anti-this or anti-that or you're this or you're a fascist, you're a racist, you're this. Look, it's time we stood up for the straight fucking narrow line, mate, because it really is a straight narrow road and everything on the other side of it is a fucking distraction from the infinite fucking wisdom of life that we are meant to exist in, and we are not meant to be in this cattle fucking market of complete and utter debauchery that is polluting the next generation of children. And I'm glad that we're all going through this. I'm fucking glad that we're all going through this. and whatever bad agendas anyone may or may not have, I think it's fucking awesome. And if there's somebody out there got to do something that I was trying to do that never got to do, then fucking hats off to them. Whoever freaking ended up pressing the reset button that I just would have loved to have pressed, but you know, never got to step up Britain. I actually own every country of it, but I never quite got to do that. I mean, even my videos, I'm like down here, mate. I'm like crushed. I've got gagging orders. I'm gagged. Um, you know, but I also do know that the right people check on me at the end of the day. Check my website. I'm on United Nations website. So, you know, whenever I say something or talk about it, they're sitting them down going, and I know this to be true. Even the head of Google does it, and it's like, you should. I mean, I was never ever someone to go, hey, selfie with me, and I didn't really think of doing that. And I don't have this thing in me that goes, you're a celebrity and I have to bow down to you. I was really, really, really privileged and honoured that my stepfather, my second stepfather, yeah, my second stepfather, one, he used to make, well, he still does, he makes the cars for Bryan Adams. So I was really fortunate to have a whole experience blown up. That this whole event was so great and we were VIPs for this thing, and when I got there it was like, yeah, who the fuck's you? But so then it didn't mean anything and he was just a normal person. But then anything that I do came out and it was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I didn't get a selfie and a photograph. I should ask Trevor if he's got the tickets, or my mum. My mum can vouch for it. She when my book comes out, I know my mum, she'll try to pull out on some bits that are raw between us, but she can't deny a lot of things. I mean, even my stepbrother Mark was there. So, and then he used to rent the garages was on the land, so they literally used to bring the cars in. And I met them on another occasion, actually, when I was at a drama school in Woking. And I was like, oh, hello. And it was you know, when Charles and Diana used to do things and they needed the double to go out and, like, get the paparazzi to go in another one, and they were basically lookalikes. Well, they used to rent the garage for us. And I've done loads of things. I've been a colour guard on football stadiums. I've I've like I've been like carnival fucking queen, for God's sake, sort of thing. Not quite like the way that you all see it, but this was for something different. I've um, I've like dated when I was like a kid in Barbados. Some poncy rich person like had hella planes and all that sort of stuff, and you know, and I've lived a really poor existence, really poor life. Like, um, never, my parents were never crackheads, smackheads, and benefits, or even like putting money on fags that they couldn't afford. I've always been really lucky in terms of the fact that both of my parents have always worked. So I've always been working class, so to say. But I had a really cool experience at school because I went to my infants and juniors as like a working class family living on a council estate. But I got to go to bow hunt, then back to a middle school, then to Weydon, where everybody was rich and wanted to be barristers, and I was the chav. I wore a shell suit. There is evidence of this. My cousins will tell you they have evidence of me in shell suits. And then going to, I think I went off to Germany at one point, and then off to Leeds or whatever, York or wherever. I stayed with quite my aunties. When it all came out about me and what I went through as a kid, I got sort of like passed off to all my aunties, and like I came out of school and everything. I don't think schools wanted to deal with me, and nobody wanted to talk about it, so they sent me to people who had experienced it. So it really wasn't nice going through not only disclosing about your own freaking uncle, but then having to deal with the gang rape stuff, and then having to find out that your own grandfather used to rape your auntie really wasn't fucking funny. Um, you know, so it's like, yeah. I just think it's time that we did set a boundary and we did set a whole standard here in the UK and a zero tolerance. Like, even alcohol, for fuck's sake, alcohol is ruining this world. Alcohol is legal and it is ruining the world. It's ruining the world. And they're going to get you out all soon and divide you all during the Queen's ceremony. And you're all going to raise your glasses as they go out there and assassinate and kill people who are Muslims and people who are Jews and people who are different denominations of different religions, so they can just wipe out and not have people to stand up against their one religion, one order, one control. United Nations all around the world, which is a really fucking really good thing, and it would be really nice to have a one world peace. But this isn't about one world peace, and lots of people are moving into peace, but lots of people are actually really arming up and building walls and battling and going to war and fighting. And then we find out that we're dealing with these ASBOs going on all around the coastal lines, all around the world, on the basis that actually this is more about police being there to watch the waves. So as I've been saying, I believe the war is going out in the middle of the fucking ocean, mate. And we're all just being safeguarded at the moment while they play battleships. And I stand by it. And it's like, you know, we're not just dealing with government. We're dealing with millionaires, billionaires, people with money, people that want to fly rockets, people that want to advance things, people that want to protect this, people that want to have affairs and protect affairs, people like even my hero, Arnold Schwarzenegger. The man fucking cheated on his wife. Even he can't be my hero anymore. He's worse than my dad. It's like, is there any real men out there anymore? Is there? Is there any men and women that honour marriage, husband and wife marriage, for long life, one family with your children, not like China that you get two, now you can have three, but your family that you are responsible for, that isn't claiming any government benefit, that is 100% self-governed, basically. That makes you an anarchist, by the way, because you're self-governed. I'm not saying that we are not meant to tithe to our kingdom. We are. What I'm saying is heresy and all this stuff going on, and the way that they're conducting the Great Reset, which was planned, proven fact. Nobody, like nobody, can tell me that they did not know that people need to start learning Cantonese, that they did not know that China was going to do a mass domination, that they did not know that Russia was going to stand their ground, that they did not know that America was going to kick off with China, and that they were going to pull England into it. And at the end of the day, there's enough war and conflict going on in Israel and other countries over minerals, land, control. Who owns the world? Who's got the most land? Who's got the most assets? Who's got the biggest family? And it's like, we the little people, we just get caught up in it. We just want our children to be safe. To just be able to let your children go out that front door, whether it be to milk the cow or to collect the eggs or to, you know, get a lollipop from a stranger, knowing that we don't have to worry about. Even today, before I go, the boys were playing with two older boys on the park today, and part of me let it go, and then Jamie Bolger came to mind. And I thought, what if I turn my back on these boys? I don't know them. And what if they sneak off with one of my kids and I don't fucking know until my son's been thrown off a fucking bridge, like another incident that's happened recently. And quite a lot of teenagers have been sort of doing some really drastic, crazy stuff to some young kids lately. And it did. And I had to even say it to the boys. I said, like, you know, they're wearing you out, blah, blah, blah. And they seemed to be really enjoying it and didn't really cope with babies. And I must, like, you know. So anyway, I actually stayed with them while they were interacting with the kids. And there was certainly no, oh, we better go, she's caught us out, you know, let's move on to another child. They were genuine. And it's really, really, really horrible to project that onto somebody. Even, you know, I passed someone today that really gave me a bit of a wall, you know, Elijah, fucking don't get over here now. And then I took a better look at them and it was like, well, was that a snake job? Was I being judgmental? Was I being a bit thing? And when you're a mum, it's really difficult because I know I've been in situations where my son's gone to a birthday party or a tea at a friend's, and then I found out that the reason that they keep the washing machine in front of the door is to stop the, you know, police coming in when so there's no drug raid. And it's like, I can't let my kids into houses like that. Whatever you do with your life is up to you. Whatever someone does to their lives, I deal with lots of people here that I don't see unless it's a Thursday. And I don't take my kids out to see them because I can't allow them to come into my house if they've downed a bottle of gin by 11 o'clock in the morning, or half a bottle of gin. I will talk with people. My children, you know, my children understand that people live on the streets. It's taken Elijah quite a lot to get over it, especially when Josie was on the streets, and also he has to deal with the fact that his father sleeps on the streets sometimes as well. So, you know, it's been really hard for him growing up with the pain that he can't imagine someone sleeping on the streets, of how this isn't right. And it's not like he's grown up in a house or anything. You know, we were in a one-bedroom flat with all of us on a, you know, on a mattress. So, you know, it's not like he's had this lifestyle where he goes, ooh, you know, it's not like that. You know, he knows Alan sleeps on the streets. He knows Alan wets himself. He knows Alan drinks alcohol. You know, he understands the difference. He is a 4-year-old child who, when we're on the park, can tell whether somebody's eyes are what I tell him wired. And I tell him when he's going to interact with people that he has to be a little bit more dubious in how he's going over to people all the time. And I know he's really great with his intuition, but I've said to him, and I've explained a few things to him as well, because he does have this. We live in a city. We're on a council estate. My child has to understand, however young or old they are, and there is no point raising children to look at you one day and go, you lied to me your whole life, and to not have that bond where Father Christmas gets all the fucking honour for everything that you've done throughout the year for your kids, and they don't ever grow up to go, oh shit, I never ever thanked my mum or dad for that. And that meant that that bond never actually truly happens. And it's not about giving your kids things, but it's like my kids. You know, they've got things. They have things. They've got lots of things that they don't use, or lots of things that they get out and don't do anything constructive with. But it is so difficult. And I remember when Bhupesh and Sam showed me a photograph once of, you know, getting their son, who was forced adopted by Watford County Council, who, you know, were really nasty about the father hitting the social worker who had made a derogatory comment about, you know, putting his child up for adoption. And, you know, rightfully so, the man is fuming. But anyway, back to the point. He showed me a photograph, and Sam showed me a photograph of all the Christmas presents they had for their son. Talk about spoiled! The boy would have been spoiled. You know, what's right, what's wrong? You know, should we just give our children stuff at Christmas and struggle all year trying to pay for it? Or should we all be living like birds anyway, knowing that the Lord will always meet our needs? That's why I don't worry when I'm broke. If I really needed it, the Lord sorts it out. Even the other day, it was really funny. I was walking past a shop and 2 fivers blew at me. And I went, no, 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 this one's not a blessing, this one's a test. I said, I'm going to hang around a bit. All of a sudden, this lad come running out that his money had dropped, and I just went like that. And this was in front of a couple of other people. They went, oh, I wouldn't have done that. I would have kept it in my pocket. I was like, no, 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 no. When the Lord sends a test me, it is a fucking test. I don't ever fail the Lord's test. And that's not even because I know he whoops upside me up the head, but because I've gone through so many wrong decisions in my life, and there has to be a polarity with every decision that you make, and every decision has a consequence of action. And it's horrible when you have these laws around you that exist. And now it's been my experience of having my children taken, and I know that that is a reality. That's the trauma that I battle, and that's why it's really difficult for me to leave Portsmouth. That's why it's really difficult for me to even pack up my car and just fuck off and go and find where I want to be and build the life. Because like, I haven't had social all last week, but she hasn't rang me to go, hey, I'm back, how you doing, how's it going, have you heard anything from the scan yet? I tell you what, shall I get hold of the GP at the moment and see if we can push it, because there's no reason that they can't be funding, because we know it's in record that you were booked on an upright MRI in Liverpool, but they pulled you down to tell you that you had lost the appeal on opposing the adoption order and didn't make it back up and was so damn fucking broken. Anyway. Ow, shit, I got a number. That noise is still going on out there. And I think, anyway, the best thing that I could do for my kids is move mama somewhere quiet. Peaceful. Quiet. When I moved to Southport, and I ran up the top of the beach hill and stood there, I could still hear the sound of cars, and that wasn't good enough. I want to wake up in the morning with nothing more than the sound of nature, not fake nature on some autoplay. I don't want to hear other people's cars pulling in. I don't want to hear trains passing by. I don't want to hear the aeroplane. In fact, where I finally get my housemate, I'm going to make sure that no aeroplanes are allowed to pass above my fucking head unless it is out of sound barriers and I can just see it going past. I have no pollution coming down on me, and I just can't hear it, because I just think the world is so fucking noisy. And I've loved lockdown with everybody on lockdown, because we haven't been on lockdown. No, I've not been vaccinated. Yes, me and my children have been out practically every day of lockdown, and we're fine. I'm not saying that we don't have viruses. We have been taught at school and at home how to wash our hands. Obviously, if you work in theatre, washing hands is very different. You get to wash your hands like this, but actually, you do this. And you know your nails? Yeah. It's like brushing teeth, innit? It's basics, yeah? So anyway, I'm absolutely infuriated about this whole child trafficking thing, because that means while I'm sitting here and I can go and put on NSCI or whatever it is that I watch at the moment, which I'm always been into, and yes, I've watched them all, and I'm re-watching it, because when you're in trauma, so if anybody out there realises that they watch the same thing over and over, or song, it's because you're in trauma. And you're looking for certainty and something, so you'll watch the same box set over, or you'll watch a film over, because it gives you certainty. Occasionally it might go, oh, I didn't see that, or think about that, and it gives you some form of still growth, but it gives you certainty, so it's meeting those fundamental basic needs. And if people don't know, we the human being have certain fundamental needs, and that's for certainty. I get mine from the Lord, it's my certainty. My roof over my head is not my certainty. My car is not my certainty, because these things are forever changing, never couldn't be taken and things like that. The Lord and Jesus can never be taken. It will never forsake me, never leave me, and nobody can ever rock my faith ever, ever, ever again. Amen to that. But in terms of having some form of variety, we need it. Maybe going to a concert of somebody that we know, but then that also gives us, can sometimes take a little bit of our certainty away unless we're familiar with those situations. So we keep going because we get more familiar, and it starts giving us certain certainty. Like going to a certain park with something with my kids, it gives me some variety, but it gives me some certainty too. And we have a need to grow. We are forever growing. We are forever going through changes and spurts of growth. And of course, we want to contribute. Everybody wants to be needed. Everyone wants to contribute. Everybody wants to do something of some form of value. Just some people just don't necessarily know or think that they have to throw money at it. And it could just be some form of time. You can contribute your time. You can contribute products. You can contribute even just a little bit of knowledge. You know, you can contribute in any ways. By my raising my children, I'm contributing to my children. And you want connection. Everybody wants to feel connected to their children, connected to their parents, connected to their family, to their friends, connected to themselves, connected to source, connected to people around us, interacting and having connections. As you'll know, by lockdown, we need physical connection. Yes? Now you have all been deprived of hugs and things, don't you all feel pretty low, pretty shit? And it takes a fucking good hug to, yes, we need that. Be careful of people draining your energy. That's very different. We should know the difference between those that we hug and those that we don't. There are vampires and cheerleaders, energy stealers and energy givers. And then, can't remember which ones I've said. Certainty, variety, contribution, growth, connection, love. There's more. Basic fundamental needs. Not on self-actualization. It shouldn't be about self. It's never been about self. And I think we've lost this. I think as human beings we've completely lost this, that birds and the animals inhabit so well, their needs are met, but man has made money, that Jesus came to take the table, to turn the table temples over. That didn't happen. He was put on a cross. He never fulfilled his actual real destiny. And people go, yeah, but he proved that there was eternal life. Yeah, but that wasn't what he was meant to do. It was meant to abolish the Roman Catholic Church and the table temples and all of that stuff, and all of the greed and corruption of the debauchery of all the whorehouses, all the drinking, all the drugs, all the child raping, poverty, destitute, and the fact that the king was able to send out and murder loads of 2-year-olds and under 2-year-olds. You know, this still happens today. It's just that people, well, they do in the courts. They wear wigs and robes still in the courts. And when they go for formalities, so when the, so say, authority go into either their churches, their temples, or their place of business or worship, they go through very ritual things, and they put robes on and gowns on, and this stuff still happens, and they still walk around in these sort of manners and ways. But we, the people out here, don't see it because we are distracted by the free education that they've given us, the free NHS. It's not free. Your benefits ain't free, mate. You sold your soul. You sold your soul to the devil, mate. You and we allow them to do this through manipulation and control. How do you control a person? Give them what they want. Not what they need, they want. We're not here to satisfy our wants, but our needs. Greed is a sin. Pride is a sin. Lust is a sin. These things are sins. Everyone goes, there's no roadmap for life. There is. It's called the Bible. The Bible's been contaminated in many ways, altered and done for the more mere peasants. I mean, you really have to fucking study this shit to sort of go, well, you know, Do not conform to the ways of the world, but by the renewal of your mind. Why would you want to be trapped in your mind? This is Romans, you know. So Romans were the people that put Jesus on the cross. Who believed he was a blasphemy, you know, saying he was the Son of God. So understandably, but were these people that were meant to understand that he was? Did they ever actually do anything wrong, really? But could you imagine if our Queen put me, hung, strung, quartered me outside 10 Downing Street, as she can, or Buckingham Palace, me and many others, mate, me and many others who would be considered treasonous, who would be considered extreme terrorists, domestic terrorists, sorry, we would be considered opposed to the status quo. We are challenging the status quo, and there's many of us doing it, and the fact that, you know, a lot of us come from a real bastard bloodline, so, and that comes from sex out of marriage, that comes from what was known as bastard children. And if you're telling me that all of these people who have been married all of these times haven't got illegitimate children, of course they have. The world is based on a lie. The whole world is based on a fucking lie. Our whole lives are based on a fucking lie. You know, we've been lied to, people. Come on, that's what I've been trying to tell you for ages. We have been given. I was trying to do it in a coachy way, where it was like, right, what belief systems do you have? Yes, this is that. Let's deal with it. I'm telling you, the shit that you believe, mate, ain't your thinking. It's not. Before I go, get a pen and paper tonight. Right, my belief systems. What is a belief system? A belief system is a schema, idea, or concept that you believe in. So it could be as simple, say, I battle with suicide, yeah? But my belief system is that if I commit suicide, I will go to purgatory. So that prevents me from committing suicide, because the pain of going to purgatory is worse than the pain staying here in hell. So I don't want to go to purgatory. I don't want to jeopardize my 60, 70, 80, 90, whatever years here on planet Earth for the sake of my eternal life when I return. You know, so I get that there is a big fucking game going on. I get that it's about trials and tribulations. I get that it is not about, you know, flesh and blood, but, well, it is about flesh and blood, but about powers and principalities. I get the difference between dying to oneself, and it's a really hard thing to do. And I can tell when I'm really in the flesh, mate. And Dean can tell. She's in the flesh, mate. She's seething, mate. She's in the flesh. To when I humble myself. Which not often. Well, actually, I humble myself every day. My kids humble me. My kids have always humbled me. My kids humble me every day. I only have to think about Faith, and she humbles me. The look that I used to get off her when she was young. She humbles me every day. The fact that I have so many children that see me as such a significant figure. Even I got to meet these two girls, dad and his dad's girlfriend, and one of them is clearly autistic and has no concept of whether or not this could potentially have hurt the feelings of the girlfriend or even the father. And actually they took it really, really well, and it was really a pleasure, actually. And she just went over and she went, I know it's a really shit day for everybody, but this lady has really made my day, and she's made it such a wonderful day for us today. And I was like, oh, like that, seriously. And like, yeah, seriously. And again, they're hypermobile kids. These are some of the ages of the girls that I've been with today, that has been quite hard, because it's memories of Faith and how Faith would have probably have been with me. You know, for such a bad person, I have dogs and kids all over me all the time, by the way. Dogs and fucking kids and old men. Dogs, kids and old men. And no, I'm not into any of that. I have to say, though, my coccyx gone. I'm really struggling. Do you want to see what it looks like for an EDS person to get off a chair set? Shall I show you quickly? I know it's not EDS Awareness Month, but just for you, just for fun. It's my kettle on. Let me put my phone on my kettle. Oh shit, it's really difficult. I'm actually holding myself in pain for you to be able to. This is like grabbing a camera while your child is falling down the stairs. But I don't know if you can actually see. I'm sort of sat at a really funny angle. Ow. I'm going, but literally, my cock's sick. Watch this, is funny. Ooh. You ready? I'll have EDS, it has me, and sometimes we dance, and EDS ain't for fucking awareness months, it is for life. So anyway, that's me getting my shit off my chest. So please do. I'm going to post up a couple of things that have already been seen on Amazon, and if anyone has the chance to please go on and search on Amazon for these particular items, and if you see them, I don't know whether to ask you to report them or not. I would say report it, but what I'm saying is there's going to be an investigation on stuff, and it's like, I know a lot of people, because you have to understand that abolitionists, I've got children, so I don't, and I've got EDS, so I can't go through the doors on any of this stuff. I would love to. I would love to go kick ass. I'd love to. If I didn't have children on an EDS, I'd be an abolitionist tomorrow. If you don't know what an abolitionist are, they're the people that boot up, gun up, and go through the doors and take children that are being held hostile and take them out of these places, and they go and they take them out, literally. But again, the Lord said, thou shalt not kill. So whatever somebody does, there's not two wrongs don't make a right, does it? So, but I think they only shoot if they're shot at. But people that do this sort of stuff carry guns. So people like me put themselves in the line of fire, which is why my family and Dean and many other people have a go at me staying in the forced adoption exposed world, because there is adoption, there is forced adoption, and then there is another line and another world in big money. Big money. Fostering and adoption is big money. Big money. Big money. Big money. And I'm not just talking here in the UK. Okay, I'm talking around the world. Child trafficking is big money. These people are wealthy. They're not good, honest people. These livings are not being made out of good, honest living. Jeff Bezos may not know that this is going on, but at the end of the day, Amazon is trafficking children. Fact. Doesn't matter if it's one case of it, 20 cases of it. It doesn't matter. That network, just like eBay, was even used to put kids up. Just like the Sun paper was putting adoption cases up. The fact is, there is code on Amazon to traffic children. Fact. Whether he knows about it or not is another matter. But is he a friend of Epstein? Are we all guilty by knowing what is it? If you steal something, if your friend steals something but you didn't, but you knew about it, you're still, I can't think what it's called, conspiracy, whatever it is. You're something anyway. So at the end of the day, should we be looking at how big Amazon has got and looking at the legitimacy of what is going on? Because if your goods are faulty, he's not liable or responsible. So if they're selling shoddy goods, the dark web has been doing this for years, but this is coming out right in front of our fucking faces. Children's dolls are coming out right in front of our faces. You know, it's becoming socially acceptable, normal. And no disrespect to gay communities, they have fought for years and years and years and years for people to understand that they have a preference to the opposite sex as adults, and they're not paedophiles. Paedophile, lesbian, gay, transgender is different things. Whether somebody's straight or gay, yeah, that doesn't make them a paedophile. You're a paedophile or you're not a paedophile, which actually means the love of children. So at the end of the day, I'm talking about people that penetrate children and watch sexual. I'm talking about children being used as sexual toys. I even saw one today, and it was talking about this particular child being very flexible. So anyway, in terms of the normal fuck-ups from social care, with just misfeasance, malfeasance, non-misfeasance, perjury, all of these things, and disability discrimination, mental health discrimination, and the fact that there isn't tick boxes for certain things, this is all coming to head. But it is going to mean that people are going to have to write their statements on how this has affected them, how this trauma has affected you, because until more, if I go in and I say how it has affected me in my mind, they'd think I was fucking crazy. But if 100 of us say this is how it has affected us, whether you've had other children or not, then they are going to have to go, well, the consequences of taking children causes this, and it will stop it. And it will. It will. So anyway, what time is it here? Listen. Can't get any fucking peace. Look. You know, we've had drilling all fucking day, and it's like, hang on a minute, did we even ask for Starline? Why are we having to go through all of this noise? Freaking Elon Musk and all these people and these boy racers, mate, need to be contributing to the people, because we're suffering with the amount of building and construction work going on. And nobody came to us and said, look, it's going to be really fucking noisy for X amount of time. I don't know when it's going to stop. It's only because the drillers say to me, I would be doing this for half an hour. And I say to them, how long's this going to be going on? Because I need to let my kids know when we can go do it. Or if I've got to go out while you're doing this. And it's like, and they'll be all right with me. And they'll go, oh, well, this one's going to take about 45 minutes, or we're going to be 4 hours. And it's like, oh, well, I'm fucking off out then. If that's going to be going on for 4 hours, mate, or even all day, I'm going out. So anyway, it's my mum's day tomorrow with the boys. I'm really looking forward to the disapproving looks. As long as my boys have a lovely time while I try and move forward even faster. I've got a laptop tomorrow so I can get on with things. And I don't know, you know, like, seriously, why would anyone want to hurt a child? All our children should be free. They shouldn't be locked up in cages. Like, you know, it's not a case of children should be seen and not heard. We've got a whole United Kingdom and a whole world. And I'll leave you with this. Portsmouth has the capability of being one massive big place where you can learn history, all sorts. Maybe even get a certificate in it if you like. You know, there's no reason for families to be separated like this. No reason for it. We have our children, we have families, and we should be taught, and the moral conduct should be, you know, children should be free to play. We shouldn't have to constantly worry. We should live in a world so fucking damn child friendly from the baby all the way through. You know, it should be. It should be. We should live in a really family friendly world, and that's the sort of country I want to live in. A really fucking family orientated country. Really family orientated. I want my boys to be playing football with the local community, and you know, it's lovely. It's lovely. I spend time with everybody here, but not everybody does. So I'm sort of the one that is in and out of all of the different cultures and all the different spaces. But that's how I was at school. And I wasn't part of my own clique, or I wasn't part of anyone's clique. I was friends with everybody, and if you were a cunt to me, then, you know, I'll fight you. But, you know, I don't really want to hate anybody, because it's not a nice feeling. Not forgiving someone is not a nice feeling. It's hot coals. This anger is not a nice feeling. Projecting this anger at people is not nice to have to do. I don't like being angry. I don't like this stuff pissing me off. But if it didn't fucking piss me off, I wouldn't do anything about it. And if I didn't do anything about it, I would never forgive myself if, say, these fucking soldiers then decide to go and rape somebody else down the road, or I end up being the person chatting to 6 fucking 7, 8 fucking soldiers and finding myself down the back alley because I trusted them because they were soldiers. Well, I want to know that the police are going to do something about this here in Portsmouth, and if I find out in the next 2-3 weeks that this statement is not done, And if I find out that these people are not being pulled in, then, you know, we've got a problem, Portsmouth. Yeah? We've got a problem, freaking Rob Wood. Got a problem. I'll freaking tell the world what 7H soldiers have done to my friend. I'll tell ya. She might not, mate, but I bloody will. She might be in shame, but I won't allow this shame to beat her. No way. No way. No way. No way. She's got no reason to be shameful, and it's not her fault. I understand what she's going through at the moment. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get what she's going through. I get the pain and suffering she's going through and what she's doing to herself. The woman's just been told that she can't fucking detox off alcohol for another whatever, and she's now masking the pain for this, and she won't get any therapy or counselling for it. The woman's been put in the fucking hospital, mate, and now freaking, oh, whatever, Trevor. This world is absolutely fucked, mate. And we can have all these glitzy nice phones and all this dancey stuff, and the fact is this world has got to be cleaned up, and it is okay for people to say, I once made a really bad decision in my life that meant I did this, and I'm not embarrassed or ashamed about it, but it doesn't mean that this should exist. And that we as mothers and people and husbands and wives and cousins and aunts and things should go, well, hang on a minute, we don't want the children growing up around this, so should it be there for the adults in the first place? And are people sabotaging their whole lives by being stuck in this, getting up, going to work and getting pissed? And then blame the potheads. And it's like, the cokeheads and the smackheads and the crackheads, and it's like, but alcohol is legal and it is causing massive fucking problems in the world. So smoking, and we know this. And this is the thing, we know the damage that violent films cause to children. We know the damage that polluting sex has on children. We know the damage that the music industry is putting on our children. We know the damage that the LGBT is putting into our schools. We know the damage of everything going on around us, yet we're not doing anything about it, and we are leaving it for the next generation to have to pick up the pieces because we didn't do anything about it, and we left a dirty, degrading, corrupted, debauchery world for our generation of children to pick up the pieces. And they're not going to have the tools and the skills to be able to do it. And we're going to end up going back so far in civilization. Education is a good thing. Man once couldn't read. Man once couldn't write. Languages. We are forming. We are coming together. We were separated by and divided by language, and we're coming together by people learning a common language, which tends to be English, but Hebrew. Hebrew is the common language. Hebrew. Arabic. Yes? The Bible wasn't English, mate. Jesus wasn't English. He wasn't a Westerner. He was a Jew. Yes? Israel. So I think people have this concept that God is this white dude in the sky. You know, the Rasta man thinks that God is a Rasta in the sky. The Indians think that God is like the genie lamp. He's in the sky. Yes, but ding ding. Yes, and everybody thinks that God is an image of themselves because He said that He makes us in His image. He didn't say we were gods. He didn't say there wasn't more than one God. He just said He was the creator and He has anointed gods. And there are other gods, but not to put any God above Him. To love thy neighbour. Thou shalt not kill. He didn't say, hey, you soldiers and you police officers, you can go to war. He said, thou shalt not kill. He didn't say, hey, form a government that go to war and cut off people's heads and shoot people in the head and pile up shitloads of bodies, he said, thou shalt not kill. There was no clause that said, unless there's a war. He said, thou shalt not kill. Not that we can rape and pillage children. Not that we can murder people. Thou shalt not kill. And we were to leave our fathers and our mothers as daughters to our husband, not to be beaten and used and abused, but to be loved and cherished. So we can bring more children into the world for the world to be a better place, not a place that's going to corrupt our children. And this is where I've got a problem, because we have to draw a line. And we have to, because otherwise, if we don't take an opportunity on whoever created what is going on around us, being that nature has intervened, Mother Earth is upside in the head, the Lord himself upon us is striking us down, whether we are going to end up with another situation where we are wiped out, and we will be wiped out. Don't think the Lord won't wipe us out, mate. He will send floods. He will crush the planet. If he wants to wipe out the human species, he will fucking wipe us out, and he will start again. Yep, then I need one rocket to get people off planet Earth, mate, and literally drown this place, bring them back and start again. It's that damn easy, just like Noah, just like any other thing. If he really, really seriously wanted to eliminate us, he will. But I'm not saying that he's not close to it. I'm saying that we, the people, have an opportunity to have two paths before us, and it's a very narrow road. And it only starts with us. If we're uncorruptible, then it will change. And if we see corruption and go, whoa, 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 hang on a minute, this is jeopardizing people. This is not right. What you're doing to this person is not right. And we have to step up for people now, because people are vulnerable. People are weak. People are in destitute situations, and they don't know another way out. And we have to be those lights to the people in the dark. And we have to be. We have to be going in and going, look, knocking on your door. I'm not here for no fucking agenda, mate. I don't want to know whether, you want so many street riots. I just want to know, are you okay? Are you all right? Like, do you want to come out for a bit and maybe go for a walk and a talk and sit on a swing, and maybe, the world's not so scary? It's a fucking horrible place to be, but the world is beautiful. It's the people, and it's the people fucking leading this damn world. And we do need people, and we do need structures, but it can work in such a better way where everybody benefits. And there should be no consistency in dramas. We should already have solutions. Nobody should be suffering silence, because our psychology and our understanding is so great that we can even understand when somebody is in such fucking trauma, rather than saying as receptionist, sorry darling, don't raise your voice or I have to go get the police. That's really going to set somebody on like me with fucking trauma, isn't it? So fuck off with you setting my trauma off and then going, oh, mental health. No, you're a cunt. Stop being a cunt. Just stop it. If you're a cunt, accept you're a cunt and don't be a fucking cunt. Don't kill people. The Bible said, thou shalt not kill. Otherwise you end up really traumatised, living guilt-ridden, and Jiminy Cricket is going to poison you with your guilty conscience, which is going to push people into drink and alcohol and shame. And houses are living in shame because dad might have given mum a crack and the kids didn't know whether to tell the teacher, and this might have gone on and that might have gone on, and things have gone on behind closed doors for so damn long that people don't even know what is right and what is wrong anymore, because we've become so tolerant and so polluted that PG 12, 15, 18 and X-rated just doesn't exist anymore. Everything is a fucking X. It's all X-rated. Everything is X-rated. Everything. Everything is X-rated, and it is time that we watershedded it. Children shouldn't be on the park worrying about needles or
We shouldn't have fag butts all over the world. We shouldn't have alcohol as an issue. And, you know, we shouldn't have to go to the extents that we have to bring people back to basics just to try to move things. And you can't redo this world with tearing down old buildings in such a way unless you get everybody on the same page. And that's really difficult to do. Standing at a window clapping wasn't the way to get everybody on the same page. So, you know, I thought we would be on the same page. We would all be working through the same page. Yes, but I don't know. Jeff Benzo, does he know it's going on? Does he not know it's going on? Is it going on? Is it not going on? You know, I'm